Strange to think, isn't it, in this multimedia world that we now have to pay for our entertainment. You know, the sort of thing. Streaming giants, everywhere you turn, somebody else is telling you that you must join this. If you want to watch the latest series, press this button. You can watch it all now, but you just have to pay this much money. And then, of course, if you do join these particular streaming services, there's always a gold service, isn't there? A silver, a platinum, multi-gold, whatever. It's never that simple. Of course, over here in the United Kingdom, we had, should I say, and I use that term loosely, the BBC, the British Broadcasting Corporation. And it's fascinating when you think, because a lot of people around the world find it strange that we, the British public, some of us at least, law-abiding citizens, have to pay a yearly licence fee. Over £150 a year, soon to go up to £172. Very expensive, as I'm sure you can imagine. So it's very galling, isn't it, when they put out sort of statements how they're going to have to cut back on channels, and we'll see a lot more repeated programs simply because they have to make a lot of cost cutting. Recently, they decided to axe many presenters on their BBC News channel. Local radio was cut to the bone, and these are the things that actually the British public like. But no, they're deciding to go ahead with all their wokery, how to talk to your parents about climate change, all the LGBT stuff, stuff that nobody's actually watching because that particular generation, Gen Z, don't really watch the BBC. They watch digital platforms. So you can understand what a mess they're in. But now there's even more of a problem. And this means that you're going to have to pay even more if you want to see something that you may be of interest. Let me explain. You see, the BBC have decided to launch this brand new incentive called BBC Maestro. That's right. And basically for £112 a year, you can, well, be part of a club where you can watch hundreds of hours a week, or whatever you want to call it, of maestros talking to you about their success, how they achieved it, offering tips, etc. This has cost the BBC absolute thousands, so they really need you to sign up, as you can imagine. And the bottom line is, they've got people like Take That's Gary Barlow talking about how he became a successful musician. No doubt about that, but of course, no mention of the fact that his manager, Nigel Martin Smith, had a very rough ride getting him to that position. Then, of course, we have David Walliams, the recently disgraced Britain's Got Talent judge, who was axed from that show, but is giving tips on how to become a successful children's author. You get the picture. So the bottom line is, while you can't watch these programs yourself, even though you've paid for your BBC license fee, you now have to pay more. And the goal of it is they're actually trailing them on the channel that you can't watch it on. You get the picture. So it's interesting, isn't it, in this mainstream media world, they wonder why people are switching off in droves, refusing to pay the BBC license fee, and then teasing you with, well, you could watch this, but guess what? You now have to pay more. So if you think about it, if you cuddle the BBC license fee, what's going to be with the Maestro series, and this is just one of many online series that they're planning, you could be spending up to £500 a year if you joined everything. Now, truly, is it worth it? And in this media digital world, is there not other ways to watch things and get inspired? Or are they right now to start charging us for the privilege, once again, of watching something that years ago we may have possibly watched or listened to for free? I'd love to know what you think to this particular story in the comments below. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.